my name is Rich and welcome to another reaction video where today we're going to be reacting to Jurassic Rebirth. Oh, and Scooby's here as well. Scooby, say hi. Say hi. No? Oh, okay. So we're going to be reacting to this trailer, and we're also going to be breaking it down scene by scene, finding all the little Easter eggs and such. But without further ado, let's begin.
Dr. Henry Loomis, this is Zora Bennett, our mission specialist.
Sorry, what mission?
This would be a medical breakthrough that could save countless lives. It comes from the largest dinosaurs on the planet.
Oh my God. Fortunately for us, all these species exist in one isolated place. Can you be ready tomorrow?
I can guarantee your safety. I mean, more or less.
More or less?
He's your guy?
We're the best at moving things and people in and out of places they shouldn't be.
Input towards Barbados. Avoid government patrol, but there aren't that many anymore.
Why's that?
No one's dumb enough to go where we're going.
This island was the research facility for the original Jurassic Park.
We need DNA from the 3 biggest dinosaurs.
Do we have to get a sample from an egg?
I suppose we could try and get it from the parent, but they're a flying carnivore the size of an F-16.
Maybe we should make it quick.
It's not even a dinosaur, it's a flying reptile. But it's a Hollywood movie. You don't get
These dinosaurs were too dangerous for the original park.
Please don't say they're raptors. They're raptors.
The worst of the worst were left here.
Come on! Duncan!
We put ourselves in a place we don't belong. Survival is a long shot.
What the hell are those?
They're helping the mosasaur defend territory, stalk, hunt.
None of what you just said is good.
Alright, now that we've reacted to the trailer, let's break it down. I'm gonna put it on mute. So here we see a giant T-Rex skeleton being taken down in in the American Museum of Natural History. Now we can see a lot of people think that this is a dead Rexy, but I don't think it is. I don't think the filmmakers would want to disrespect it like that. I don't think it's Rexy. Then we see a giant banner. This is it's called. Then we see a giant banner that says, "When dinosaurs ruled the earth." You might remember this banner, since it was the same banner that was in the Jurassic Park Visitor Center. That got burnt. That then got burnt when Zach was lighting it. When Zach was lighting it in Jurassic World. However, and the banner does fall down, just like in the first Jurassic Park movie. And then we see, here in the background, we see people riding dinosaurs, a reference to Dinotopia, a book created by James Gurney. It's about people coexisting with dinosaurs. Rupert Friend's character, Martin Krebs, introduces Zora Bennett, played by Scarlett Johansson, to Dr. Henry Loomis, played by Jonathan Bailey. Here we see the long grass scene. We've seen this scene in a bunch of screenshots for Jurassic World Rebirth, and it was really great. Now here we get to see color. Yeah, it's really green now. Then we see a tail of a dinosaur, and later on we see two Titanosauruses, the largest dinosaurs ever to walk the earth, and they got frills on them as well. Yeah, they got they got fins on the. They got fins on their neck and tail. This one, and they're really big as well. Oh, and a bunch of pictures, and there have been a bunch of pictures of these dinosaurs. And then we see Quetzalcoatlus flying in the sky, and then we see two dinosaur skeletons here. A giant Apatosaurus skeleton. You might remember this dinosaur since it did appear in Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, and Jurassic World Dominion. And then we see a small Dromaeosaurid skeleton, and which kind of looks like a Velociraptor. I think this is a Velociraptor skeleton. I'm not too sure. It could be Deinonychus. It looks. I mean, the skull shape is very similar, but again, the Jurassic Park raptors were based off of Deinonychus. Then we see a giant ceratopsid skull with two long horns. This could be Torosaurus. I don't know. The horns are too long to be The horns are way too long for it to be a Triceratops. Then we see the Universal logo, which looked very different. Then we see a shot taken in Suriname. There's a sea airplane. Landing. Then we're introduced to Duncan Kincaid, played by Mahershala Ali, the same guy who's gonna be playing the MCU Blade. It looks like he's gambling. Yeah, there's beer on the table. There's Surinamese money, and it looks like he's playing poker because there are playing cards on the table, and he's wearing a pink Hawaiian shirt, very similar to Dennis Nedry's shirt. Then here we see the giant mouth of a megalodon. We saw this mouth in one of the behind-the-scenes screenshots for Jurassic World Rebirth. Yeah, this is a megalodon because the teeth are very serrated. Then Duncan says that they're going towards Barbados, and they have to avoid government patrol, meaning that this mission they're going on is probably illegal. But he says there aren't any, but there aren't that many anymore. Meaning, I don't know. Then we see a giant mining facility which could be used for mining resources, and we see this sign that says danger 10,000 volts. You might remember this sign from the first Jurassic Park movie where it said danger 10,000 volts on the electric fence so that visitors can keep away from the dinosaurs. Then we see a laboratory created by InGen, and we see a giant cloning vat that holds a Velociraptor. This looks just like the Velociraptors seen in the Lost World Jurassic Park. Very similar, but if you look closely, it has two heads. It's a two-headed raptor, and this is a thing called, and this is a real life thing called polycephaly. If you don't know what polycephaly is what happens when it's a thing that happens when a creature has two heads. A lot of people think two-headed creatures are just imaginary mythical things. I mean, because we see images of two-headed dragons and stuff like that. But two-headed creatures is a real thing. I mean, there's like two-headed lizards, two-headed snakes, and there's a bunch of two-headed animals. If you Google two-headed animals, then it'll show up. Then they'll show. Then when you see a little creature in this canister here, I don't know what this is. And then Martin Krebs says, do we have to get a sample from an egg? And then Henry Loomis says, I suppose we could try and get it from the parent, but they're a flying carnivore the size of an F-16. Yeah, and Quetzalcoatluses are pretty big, and they are carnivorous, but I don't know if they're the size of an F-16. I think they're way bigger than that. I don't know. I have to let me know in the comments if Quetzalcoatluses are the size of an F-16. Then Zora and Henry enter the temple like Indiana Jones, and this temple is very similar to Indiana Jones. There's like here we see the head of a giant serpent, which could be Quetzalcoatl. If you guys don't know what Quetzalcoatl is, it's like a giant feathered serpent that exists in Mesoamerican mythology, but it is a creature that exists in the Godzilla animated series, and it was a creature that was supposed to show up in Godzilla King of the Monsters, but it didn't show up at all. And we see Zora and Henry taking a sample from an egg, which is very similar to Indiana Jones, where Indy tries to take the golden idol. Then we see the Quetzalcoatlus coming into the temple. I really do like this Quetzalcoatlus. I do really like this Quetzalcoatlus, but I do kind of prefer the Jurassic World Dominion Quetzalcoatlus, because it's way bigger and it was a little bit scientifically accurate back then. I mean, this is not bad. I like the color. That is gorgeous. That is gorgeous. But I really do like the Jurassic World Dominion Quetzalcoatlus because I've heard on YouTube that there's a lot of rumors saying that the Quetzalcoatlus will be very paleo accurate. This here is not really paleo accurate. I mean, the Quetzalcoatlus is smaller, and it's got a crest on the beak. I think the Quetzalcoatlus had like a crest on their head, on the top of their head. But other than that, this is really good. Then Dr. Henry Loomis gets dragged out of the temple thanks to the Quetzalcoatlus, and then Zora Bennett holds the rope trying to pull him up, very similar to Avengers Endgame, where Scarlett Johansson, where Scarlett Johansson's character, the Black Widow, gets saved by Clint Barton, aka Hawkeye, but then she falls to her death. And then we see the entire island. This is like really we do see we do see the entire island in this scene. Looks very similar to Skull Island. Yeah, it looks very similar to it looks very similar to it looks very similar to Skull Island. You know, the island Kong inhabits and the skull crawlers inhabit. And then Duncan holds a flare. He's probably facing off against something big and huge and scary. And then we see the Velociraptor tapping its feet. Yeah, tapping its claws. Yeah, it's tapping its claws, just like that scene in the first Jurassic Park movie where the raptor taps its claws. And this shot is very similar to the one in Jurassic Park where it's just showing the raptor's feet. Very similar. And then we see the giant mutant dinosaur. Yeah, a lot of people. This is a mutant dinosaur, not a hybrid. Yeah, this is a mutant dinosaur. A lot of this creature is classified as a mutant, not a hybrid, not a it's a mutant, not a hybrid, not an amalgamation, but a mutant. It's a failed experiment. It's an experiment gone wrong. Then we see what the giant mutant dinosaur looks like. What is this thing? What is this? It looks like if a xenomorph and a muto mixed together. Yeah, it really does. Cause it's knuckle walking its stance is very similar to its build is very similar to that of a muto. And the skull is very similar to that of a xenomorph. Yeah, this is a mutant, not a hybrid, not an amalgamation, but a mutant. An experiment gone wrong. Yeah, it's a failed attempt at creating a T-Rex because of the snout. Yeah, it's very similar to the mouth of a T-Rex. Then Zora yells, "Duncan," meaning that Duncan probably dies in this scene. Then we see a Jeep very similar to the Jurassic Park Jeeps, but this Jeep looks very different to the Jurassic Park Jeeps. Yeah, it looks very different to the ones. It looks very different compared to the Jeep Wranglers from Jurassic Park. It looks kind of similar to those Halo cars. Yeah, it looks very similar to those military cars from Halo, and it's bursting through the gates. Then we see this shot, which is very similar to one of those. Yeah, it's very similar to Alien. It's set in a bunker. Then we see Zora shooting at some dinosaur from under the vent. Again, very similar to Alien, because I think in the Alien movies, because I think in movies the xenomorph gets shot in the vent systems. I don't know. I didn't watch Alien. Then we see a Dilophosaurus. Yeah. We've seen the Dilophosaurus in Jurassic Park, Jurassic World Camp Cretaceous Seasons 4 and 5, and Jurassic World Dominion. Yeah, this looks... this Dilophosaurus is opening its frill. This is scientifically inaccurate, by the way, because Dilophosaurs were way bigger, and they did not have a frill, and they did not spit venom. And we see Luna plays his character on land. There's a boat there, and it looks like there's a T-Rex behind that grass, and there's a dog. This is probably where the river raft scene takes place. Yeah. Yeah, you might remember that scene from the Michael Crichton Jurassic Park novel, where Alan, Lex, and Tim, get on a river raft and cruise along the river, but then the T-Rex wakes. Yeah, it looks very. And then we see the T-Rex waking up. This is very similar to the river raft scene in the Jurassic Park novel, where Alan, Lex, and Tim escape the T-Rex, where Alan, Lex, and Tim get on the river via river raft. But then the T-Rex wakes up. And chases them down the river. The only reason they get saved is all because the juvenile T-Rex challenges the adult. Yeah, this is not. Yeah, look at this T-Rex. They did confirm the T-Rex is gonna make an appearance. This isn't Rexy. No, this is not Rexy. As you can see, it's green in color. Rexy's brown. And then we see a flashback scene of the D-Rex. Yeah, I'm also calling this the D-Rex. We don't know the official name of this creature, but a lot of people are calling it the D-Rex, and I'm gonna call it the D-Rex too. It's trapped in some sort of and we see that the D-Rex is trapped in some sort of cage. It reminds me of a few movies. It reminds me of Alien. It reminds me of Sonic the Hedgehog 3, where Shadow was in stasis for 50 years. It looks like this creature has been in here for 50 years. And you can actually see. Oh, let me restart. And you can actually see that this is a failed attempt at creating a T-Rex, because it's got two tiny arms with two fingers. This could be a flashback scene. This could be the scene that plays at the beginning of the film. Yeah, it however, it does have to, and it is a failed attempt. It was a failed attempt at creating a T-Rex, but it has tiny arms, but it still has those giant Muto-like arms. And it looks like this D-Rex is taking its time to kill this person. Unlike all of the other dinosaurs in the Jurassic universe, which just straight up kill and eat and chomp and bite their victims, this one's just taking its time before it can eat eat this person. Then we see the T-Rex trying to attack this person underwater. And it's very similar to the Meg 2, The Trench, where the T-Rex in that film ducks its head underneath the water to eat something. Very similar. And then we see a scene very similar to Jurassic Park 3. We see 3 Spinosauruses and a giant Mosasaurus in this scene. The Spinosaurus's spines have stripes on them, really cool. And it looks and Henry says that the Spinosauruses are actually helping the Mosasaurus. It's a symbiotic relationship. It happens a lot of time. Yeah, if you don't know what symbiosis is, it's when two creatures of different species interact with each other, sometimes in a positive way, sometimes in a negative way. It happens with a lot of creatures. It happens with the crocodile and the plover bird. It happens with sharks and the pilot fish. And it happens with, this is a fake example of symbiosis, but it also happens with Godzilla and Mothra. Yeah, it looks like the Spinosauruses are helping the Mosasaurus. I don't know if symbiosis is a real thing. I don't know if symbiosis is a real thing, but I don't know if symbiosis is a thing that happens with dinosaurs. I don't know. Yeah, and these Spinosauruses are helping the Mosasaurus. I thought the Mosasaurus was gonna like eat them. I thought the Spinosaurus and Mosasaurus were gonna like fight each other to the death, but no, they're not. They're working together as a team. They're like a pack. Then we see the Spinosaurus launching out of the water trying to eat this person. Very similar to that scene in Jurassic World where the Mosasaurus like jumps out of the water to eat something. And we can see the design of this Spinosaurus, and it looks really cool. A lot of people are hating it, though. I mean, all of the Jurassic Park 3 fans are like, I hate this thing. Why is it here? Why does it exist? Yeah, a lot of rumors said that there have been a lot of rumors on the internet saying that the Spinosaurus would appear in Rebirth, but it would sport a different design. It would sport like a paleo accurate design. Yeah, this Spinosaurus looks very similar to its real life counterpart. I do like this design. Yeah, I really do. But I really thought they would but I thought they were gonna keep most of it paleo accurate. I thought they were gonna keep most of it paleo accurate. I didn't know they were gonna make it completely paleo accurate. Yeah, it looks very. Yeah, I thought it was gonna I thought the body shape of the Spinosaurus was gonna be different, but I thought the head of the Spinosaurus would be similar to the Jurassic Park 3 Spinosaurus. Yeah, I thought the head was gonna be similar. I didn't know they made the head completely different. Yeah, I like this Spinosaurus really cool. I like the design of this Spinosaurus really cool. I really like the design of this Spinosaurus, but I think I like the Jurassic Park 3 Spinosaurus way better. Yeah. And then we see the Mosasaurus jumping out of the water, and it looks really cool and it looks very paleo accurate. Yeah, looks really paleo accurate. However, I did like the Jurassic World Mosasaurus way better. Even though this isn't bad, I really like the Jurassic World Mosasaurus way better. And since a lot of people are hating this Spinosaurus, they think it correlates with the story. They say that it correlates with the story that these dinosaurs were a mess to begin with, but I think they're cool. Yeah, they're really cool. However, the synopsis of this film says they have to take 3 DNA samples from 3 different dinosaurs to make a medicine to help people. They have to collect a dinosaur from land, water, and sea. However, there's one thing. There's one problem. However, see, this is a dinosaur. Yep, this is a dinosaur. Yeah, the Titanosaurus is a dinosaur. But, they have to take DNA from a Quetzalcoatlus and a Mosasaurus. The Quetzalcoatlus and the Mosasaurus aren't dinosaurs. The Quetzalcoatlus is a flying reptile and the Mosasaurus is a marine reptile. But the Quetzalcoatlus is a flying reptile and the Mosasaurus is a marine reptile. But I get it, it's a Hollywood movie. They don't get very specific. And then we see the logo. Jurassic World Rebirth, and the logo looks really cool. And this film is coming out in Australian cinemas July 3rd. Yeah, really. Yeah. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like, subscribe, click the bell for notifications, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.